Torino, with 17 new players this season, is certainly an unknown quantity. And the feeling is that coach Rampanti, promoted from the club's very successful and admired youth team, will favour a more adventurous approach than his predecessor Mondonico. The signing of Delle, the Ghanaian from the French league, looks a shrewd capture. So too the acquisition of defenders Maltagliati, who's not in the side today, and Curricula. And Torino are hoping that striker Rizzatelli, then from Roma, will at last realise his full potential. Rizzatelli playing up front with Andrea Silenzi, the only survivor from Torino's regular first team last season. What then of Inter? Well, having suffered their worst ever season in the top flight, there's a lot of pressure on them to reverse the trend this time. New coach Ottavio Bianchi has chosen Darko Panchev up front, with Dennis Bergkamp injured, but among the substitutes today, he's been making his way back from that injury that he's had. And Bianchi, the coach, hoping too that his recruitment of Beer and Festa will improve the team's defensive stability. Paliuca's arrival means Inter have once again the country's top-rated goalkeeper to call on. And other new faces include Andrea Sado, who'll fill the anchor role in midfield after his move to the San Siro from Foggia. No Wim Jonk, Inter's other Dutchman. He's away on international duty. Torino then kicking off, attacking the goal to our right, defending the one to the left for the moment. And it will be very interesting to see how their new players slot in together, how they gel in this opening fixture. There's Pele, his first touch. A very sharp player, and he'll be operating just behind the front two of Rizzatelli, the man on the ball now, and Silenzi, who's beaten to the tackle by Bergkamp. Once again, the inter-captain this season, Bergkamp. Delle taking the free kick. Benny Pele, who came from Lyon in France, but of course made his name with Marseille. And he was in the side that toppled Milan in the European Champions Cup final 2 seasons ago. So many changes in personnel at Torino, forced by the crippling debts that the club have had. This is Sosa now for Inter. The Uruguayan international, who's been in such sparkling form in the past few seasons since moving to Italy, first with Lazio and then with Inter. Laid back by Pele. Tackled by Berti. One of the Italian World Cup squad, of course, had to fight a long battle against injury last season. And did so well at the end of the campaign that he forced his way back into the thinking of Arrigo Sacchi, the Italian national team coach. Forward by Falcone, who's been preferred in the side too, Maltagliati. A bit of a surprise there by the Torino coach. The youngster getting in ahead of the more experienced Maltagliati, who came from Parma. Wide by Seno. Played a key role for Foggia last season. Seno, he was their captain indeed. And I think he's a useful signing, Ray. I think he's a very interesting signing, Peter. Yes, he had an excellent season with Foggia. But I think the interesting thing from Inter's point of view is the fact that they do have a fully fit Berti, but they also have a fully fit Bianchi, who missed the most of last season. And Bianchi's already forced himself back into the Italian squad. He's a wide right player, very, very well disciplined, and once in forward positions can really deliver a super ball into the box.
Seno with the header. Yes, Bianchi has been called up for the Italian national team to play, or at least feature in the squad, for the match against Slovenia in the week, the European Championship qualifier. Wide by Passotto. This is Rizzatelli. Trying to send Falcone away. Rizzatelli, who's never quite realised that full potential that we were saying earlier on. Certainly in terms of scoring goals, but he's all-round a very gifted player. Working in tandem with Silenzi up front then for Torino. They're the giant figure, number 9, Silenzi. And it'll be Pele to take the corner. Way by Bergkamp for another corner.
Excellent defending from Bergkamp. That really was a good ball in from Abide Pele. And that's a great area in which to hit the ball. We see it here. He really does whip it in very, very sharply. And it lands in a very good area. But there's Bergkamp, first-class defender, first to the ball.
Pagliuca just got his hand to that one. But only partially away. It goes Pele, and Seno has to hook it clear for a corner. So a positive opening here by Torino. Who did seem certainly rather cautious under their last coach, Mondonico. They, of course, were knocked out by Arsenal in the European Cup Winners' Cup. Arsenal en route to their triumph. Away by Pagliuca, under pressure, and the referee says that's a foul. In charge today, Piero Ceccarini, one of Italy's most experienced referees. There's Pagliuca. What do you make of the swap there, Pagliuca for Zenga?
Well, I think Inter have got the better deal, Peter. I think Pagliuca is a super goalkeeper. Walter Zenga has been a marvellous goalkeeper, world-class goalkeeper. But I think it's obviously better for Inter that they have Pagliuca a lot younger, more agile, and obviously holding down a place in the national side.
Seno trying to drill it through. Well cut out though by Pesotto. Now here's Selenzi, who started last season so brightly, 12 goals in the first 14 games. But the goals rather dried up after Christmas, and in the end his final tally was only 17. On by Falcone, just too long for Selenzi. This is Orlando to hook it away. Pesotto away from Seno. This is Pele now. Not a bad effort either, but had Pagliuca scrambling down to save.
But by saving that, Pagliuca's actually got the fans whipped up a little bit. They think it's a lot closer than what it was. Had he just walked aside and let it drift past the post, there wouldn't have been a sound in the stadium. But that naturally gets supporters whipped up, and that's good stuff from Abide Pele, getting a shot in as early as that.
On by Falcone. This is Pesotto with the throw. Came from Verona. Flicked up by Seno. Now here's a chance for Ruben Sosa. Lovely turn there by Sosa. And the shot being well saved by Pastine.
That was great football all round. It was a wonderful first touch from Panchev. We're only going to see the Sosa shot, but the play by Panchev was first class. He pulled it down, he played Sosa through on the second touch, and I thought Sosa was going to hit it actually, but the turn in the finish was quite wonderful, and it's a good stop.
So with 20 minutes gone, the first real chance of the game to Inter. Falling to this man Sosa, who's taking the corner now, just over the head of Seno. Pesotto losing out then to Bianchi. Here's Bia, who did look very composed last season with playing for Napoli. Another foul on Seno. This time by Bonetti. Kick taken quickly, intelligently as well, on by Bianchi for Panchev to chase. That's good covering though by Giulio Falcone.
It is, but that's what it's all about, this football, Peter, when you play this sort of level, is the quick thinking. Sosa's brought down there, the ball's on the floor, he plays the quick free kick and they're off and they've got a corner. Sosa really does. His first 2 yards are in his mind, and he really does think so fast.
And it was Falcone, the 20-year-old, to the rescue. Player who's come up through the youth ranks at Torino. Kick taken by Sosa. And heartlessly away for a goal kick to Torino. Pastine here is the second youngest goalkeeper in Serie A this season. He was last season's deputy to Giovanni Galli, who, like everybody else, has departed. Just Selenzi left from last season's first team. There's Selenzi's challenge now. Pesotto, Pele in the round about the penalty spot. Bianchi can bring it away now then for Inter. And there's an injury. I think to Silenzi.
Yeah, it is Silenzi, Peter, yeah. That's quite incredible, isn't it? Only Silenzi's left from last year's team. Quite unbelievable. Actually, it is very, very difficult. Don was quite right in saying that a lot of their play's been very bitty, but when you've got players that have possibly only played 5 or 6 pre-season games together, it is very, very difficult to get the side to gel immediately. And I think once you see them lose possession of the ball, they get behind it as quick as they possibly can, and they don't want to lose a goal. And at the moment, it's pretty even Stevens.
Silenzi being stretchered off. Of course, the new instructions insist now that if he wants further attention, he has to leave the field. And that's a real setback for Torino. Petracchi will come on to take over from him. Gianluca Petracchi. Gianluca not really extended so far in the first half by Torino. Here's Festa. Bianchi with Manicone. Tosto, almost caught by Seno. Into the last 5 minutes of the first half. Seno, a prodigious worker, penalised on that occasion. Rizzatelli. Almost linking up there with Pelé. That was good anticipation by Bia. Panchev to Bianchi. Persevering for Inter down that right side. Bergkamp with Seno. In goes Sosa. Chance here. The defensive sloppiness has been punished by Ruben Sosa.
He is the man, Peter, and that was absolutely fantastic football. His speed of thought is incredible. Just knocked it past Pastine, and with the old swinger, whacked it in the back of the net. A great goal. First-class performance from Sosa this afternoon. Here it is, the ball, long ball just pumped through. Bergkamp, who's had a very good game. And there's Sosa thinking ahead of everybody else on the volley, back of the net, 1-0. And Inter do look very comfortable, it has to be said.
The goal coming 3 minutes from half-time, scored by the Uruguayan international Ruben Sosa. There was certainly some hesitancy at the back. As Ray was saying, though, he's otherwise had a good first half, the young defender. But they lost their concentration there. Ruben Sosa. Now Bianchi. That was Tosto in the way. Delle. Nickname, of course, after the great man himself.
Bit of a burden to carry, isn't it? Being named after Pelé.
I've got a friend called Wilkins. Here's Petracchi.
Unfortunately.
And there is the half-time whistle, blown by referee Ceccarini to signal a good first half for Inter. They've certainly been the better side and created more chances too than Torino. And 3 minutes from half-time, they had their reward with a goal from Ruben Sosa, which divides the two teams. Away then to go Inter, seeking their first title since 1989, when Trapattoni was the coach. Here's Sosa now, bursting straight through, almost on the kickoff, and really squeezed it in as well.
And for once in his life, Peter, his first touch let him down on that magical left foot. It was a great ball, it was a great kickoff from Inter, and Sosa was onto it like a flash. But he still managed to get a shot in on the old swinger. He's prepared to have a go, that's the important thing.
Header by Bergkamp. Manicone just got his foot in then. Tosto for Torino, now Pelé. Seno. Rugged challenge by Pele.
He's a miniature Roger Mila, isn't he, to look at?
Singer or the footballer? Well, he's impressed me so far, Pele.
He's working very hard. He's attempting to get away from Bergkamp, which isn't that easy. Always looking for the ball.
Leicester, who seems to have made a full recovery now for Inter. That's him chasing forward from his defensive role. Having been injured earlier in the half. Benetti now. He's always a very determined player. Pataki, oh, he missed his kick down at the vital moment. Just when it looked as if he could be through.
What a great shame, because he actually started the move, Pataki, coming in from the right-hand side, continued his run. It was a great dummy, in actual fact, on Beer, but he just miscued on his, which looks as if it would be his poorer foot, his left side.
There were opportunities squandered by Torino. One by Seno down to Maniconi, who nearly joined Torino a short while ago, but Inter decided to hang on to him. Throw taken by Seno to Sosa. Now Maniconi. Pancho, good first time ball to Berti. Pancho has made his run into the box. Certainly played with a lot of zest this afternoon, Pancho.
Well, that was good play, Peter, wasn't it? He laid the ball up. It was a great first time pass, and he was off like a rabbit there to get in the box for the return ball. That was good play from Pancho.
Sosa was almost released there. Remember, Dennis Bergkamp is on the bench for Inter today, so we may well see him later on. For the moment, Pancho doing enough to keep him off, I would think. There's a rare misunderstanding involving Bergkamp. Benetti's throw. Tosto. Tosto with Caricula. Petracchi. He's actually done quite well since coming on for Silenzi. Towards Pele, he can make nothing of it, maybe Benetti can. It's Benetti now with the cross, Orlando away. Now Seno in well. Up towards Sosa, he's got Panchev in support. And also a fine run through then by Berti, a typical bursting run by Berti.
It was an excellent run from Panchev, Peter. He realised that Berti was making a run to his outside, so he attempted to take the defender to the near post and leave the big space there for Berti, but unfortunately Sosa couldn't pick him out.
Free kick that to Inter. Organised by Maniconi. There's going to be a substitution here. Bergkamp is coming on, not for Panchev, but for Bianchi. Who, as we've been saying, is not fully fit, or hasn't been certainly. Although he's in the Italian squad in midweek, maybe that certainly will please Arrigo Sacchi if he's being held back. We'll be fresh up.
Bit of a strike force on show now, Peter, haven't we, for Inter?
Maniconi taking the kick, looking for Seno and Bergkamp. We've had an hour now. Inter with Dennis Bergkamp, the Dutch international on corner. Such a highly rated player. Had his moments for Holland in the World Cup finals. There's Berti with a cross it towards Panchev and Bergkamp. A very clinical finisher, Bergkamp.
Good football again, wasn't it? Panchev really has looked bright. Here he is again, trying to put the defender under pressure. He's really worked very, very hard, and it was nice ball control on his chest. We're talking of ball control, that was absolutely magnificent from Davide Pele. Wonderful skill.
You had the feeling the crowd are taking to him already, Pele.
I think we are as well, Pete.
Yeah, Benetti now, looking to expose Inter down the flank. Oh, a spectacular jump to no avail. Casato. Torino playing with more purpose in the second half. Tosto now with a chance to cross it in. Bia.
It's interesting to note he's actually got him down the right side since Bianchi's gone off. Bertie's come across to play on his more natural side, the right side. But Bianchi's excellent at tracking people into that area, and this is the first time I think they've got in down this left-hand side, Torino. Oh, and it was handball, but it's just one of those things the defenders jumped to attempt to stop it, and I think it's ball to hand more than hand to ball.
Well, there were one or two protests, certainly from the Torino players.
Seen them given for less, though, Peter, in Italian football.
Bonetti will take the corner. Away by Bergkamp. That was an untidy challenge by Orlando. Foul on Petracchi. This is the referee that only was told to smile more often last season. He's done that on one or two occasions this afternoon.
He's had a couple of dodgy decisions, but I think all in all he's refereed it quite well, Peter.
I think he's also been told not to be too whistle happy. Instructions from the refereeing federation. Petracchi with the cross, almost reached Pele. Here's Bonetti now. There's a dangerous ball in. Pele very nearly capitalised on it too. Sosa now to Bergkamp, almost at the halfway point in the second half. And Torino suggesting they can get something out of this game now.
Yeah, they put in a couple of good balls there, good quality on them crosses, and if you put good quality on them, you're going to cause people problems. Pele did exceptionally well to get the ball back with his head.
Petracchi continues to look lively, but it's Bia now for Inter, finding Seno. Now Berti. This is Matchev. Surrounded over by Torino defenders. There was no way past. Not much support for him, he's claiming. Bonetti. Another purposeful run by Bonetti, and look how well Seno's tracking him back. At least he was initially.
Yeah,
then he held it back.
Good refereeing, Peter. He did have hold of his arm, and I think Seno was starting to struggle over that sort of distance, and it was definitely a foul. Good little period from Torino. They seem to have him to pin back in there for a couple of minutes, and let's hope they can produce something. A very young side, they're doing a world of good.
So maybe here another examination then of Inter's defensive qualities. And they did come in for a lot of criticism defensively last season. Zenga took some of the blame, Battistini and Ferri, they've all departed. It's a new look into defence this season. Rizzatelli is there, and Scenza, who is certainly keen to strike from long range. Now Pele coming across to take charge. The referee is still not happy with the distance the wall is away. My man is on the number 4 here, Scenza. Here he is. Not a bad effort either, swerving at Paliuca. And he goes Petracchi, and it's whacked away. Difficult ball then for the keeper to deal with. It was certainly dipping.
I think you've seen that free kick before, Peter. Yeah, it did move a hell of a lot. Yeah, it went from left to right, and Paliuca kept it up quite nicely.
Here comes Torino again. Petracchi in towards Pele. Looks to be a hand up there. It was Pele's hands as a referee. I'm not so sure.
It's a difficult decision to make. There was definitely a hand go up, and Pele doesn't think it was his.
The free kick given to Inter, and maybe an escape for them then. Pele most indignant.
Good signs from Aston Villa's point of view, though, Peter. From open play, Inter do look very, very sound defensively, but I've got to say, from free kicks and corners, they haven't looked the safest. And
oh, here's Sosa now. This is a great chance, and he's missed it. Suddenly through then, Ruben Sosa.
Yes, I think he'll be disappointed with that. It was a great dummy on the defender. Great first touch as well, but rather panicked into his shot here. The ball sits up for him in actual fact, and just lifts it over the top of the crossbar.
This is Mirko Conte, who's coming on to replace Manicone. Another switch then being made by Inter.
Inter sostituisce il numero 4 Manicone con il numero 13 Sosa.
Torino on the counter-attack, but unsuccessfully. Seno down for Orlando. Here's Sosa. As Bonetti came sliding into the tackle. Bags of commitment from Bonetti. 30 years old now, still with plenty to offer at the highest level, having returned to the top flight after being with Bologna. Orlando. This is Seno. Now Bergkamp. Wasn't really closed down then by Torino. On ball in search of Sosa. He was flattered by a very clumsy challenge from Tosto.
He's such a clever player, Peter. He gets himself between the ball and the defender all the time. And he makes it very tough for the defenders to defend against him. Great runner off the ball. He's really worked tirelessly this afternoon and has looked in a class of his own.
Sosa there, about to take the free kick. Torino want to make a substitution, but they can't do so just yet. Now, well played by the goalkeeper, Luca Pastine. Senegalia is the man about to come on. Place of Tosto, I think. Bonetti again marauding down this left side, linking with Pele. Just got caught then by Seno. That's a yellow card. They've had quite a tangle, these two at times. Seno has now been cautioned.
I think that was a little bit unfortunate. I think it was Pele's ability that really he drifted past Seno and he's just caught him as he's gone past. I don't think there was anything malicious at all there.
Maybe not the first offence, though, the referee taking into account. I would think one or two earlier challenges from Seno. There's Tosto going off, Senegalia to replace him. Marco Senegalia, wearing 15. He was with Torino last season, didn't really feature too often in the senior side. Berti. Certainly wasn't a regular, Senegalia. That's a foul by Curricola. Kick taken by Sosa. Darting run by Pachev. There's Bergkamp now. Glorious pass through for Sosa, who had the pace. Good covering by Falcone.
That was great football, Peter, wasn't it? What a pass. And but the running off the ball was super as well. He made up Bergkamp's mind that he could put it in there. Sosa made a great run to the back post. Panchev went to the near post. Bergkamp electing to go far post with a lovely curling pass.
Forward by Festa. This is Orlando, who switched to the right side since the arrival of Mirko Conte as a substitute for Inter. Of Torisi. Pachev. Sosa again fails to cash in. In goes Berti. Now Pachev. Good effort. Berti, look, I think he punched it in. Surely punched it.
Yeah, disallowed, Peter, yeah, disallowed. I was beginning to wonder who punched it in, actually, but I think there we saw three truly world-class players, didn't we? Panchev, Bergkamp and Ruben Sosa. That really was great football. It was a pass inside from Bergkamp, which was quite wonderful. And here we see the incident. I thought it was handball on the line, in actual fact, but then Berti did punch it into the net. I thought it may well have been a penalty.
Well, a good save just before that from Pastine. Pachev was looking very sharp around the box. Now it's a foul by Bergkamp.
It was a great spell of football, Peter, wasn't it? It really was a good save from Pastine. But we saw some beautiful interplay from three players that, if they perform to this sort of standard, we're really in for a good Inter side this year.
The
Foul by Bergkamp. Punish with the free kick there, which Bonetti is taking. Looking for Pele, trying to shake off Bergkamp. He's so close to him again.
He did ever so well, Pele. He pinned Bergkamp in the box. He wouldn't let him. He had him where he could feel him all the time. When he pinned him in the box, so Bergkamp couldn't get round the outside of him.
Now Bergkamp. 3 points for a win, remember. So Inter will be very anxious to hold on to this lead now. Maybe extend it in the closing minutes. They've had opportunities to do so. Panchev, good turn! Spanking drive then by Darko Panchev. He certainly has his appetite back.
I think he can be very happy with his performance today, Pete. He really has, as you quite rightly say, got it. Look at that. That's a great shot on the turn. That was very unfortunate. He really does look as if he's got his appetite back for the game. He's looked far better in this match than he did any of the 12 that he played for Inter last season. He really does look in fine form.
It's all about confidence. And Darko Panchev is restoring his. Whether he'll get a run in the side now remains to be seen, with Bergkamp and Jonk, of course, to come back. He can only play 3 foreigners. There's Shalimov as well at the club. And Ruben Sosa, we're going to drop him.
I think the important thing from his point of view is he's putting reminders back into Bianchi's mind, and that's vitally important. He's now in the frame, and that's the important thing for Panchev.
In to throw. 3 minutes to go. This is the other Conte. Go Conte. Emergency now for Pastine. Certainly the crowd wanted to play it forward as quickly as he can. Coricola. Senegalia. This is Scienza. Good running by Rizzatelli. He's offside here. Chance for Rizzatelli. Brilliant save by Pagliuca.
Quite right, a brilliant save, Peter. That is. There's no rebound coming off him there. They pushed up through the middle of the field in an attempt to catch him offside, and I think it was the substitute for Inter that plays him onside. Yeah, there he is, just behind Pagliuca. He plays him onside. That's probably a little bit of an experience not playing with the lads at the back. But they got away with it, a super save.
Yes, he's only 20, Conte. He's come up through the youth ranks at Inter, having returned from his loan spell at Venezia. Well, that was a real opportunity then carved out by Torino for Rizzatelli. And as we said before, it's the part of his game that has been lacking his sharpness, his finishing. But in fairness, that was a superb stop by Pagliuca.
Yeah, he's looked very safe. They've had a real go, Torino, in the second half. They've worked very hard to try and get back in the game. And it really has been the only opportunity that they've had from open play, really. And Pagliuca was made a magical save from it.
Bergkamp. Throw that to Inter. As we near the end of a game that certainly had gone Inter's way in the first half, with Sosa's goal towards half-time. The Torino, to their credit, have battled back in the second half and have made a match of it and might have got something out of the game with more clinical finishing. Curricula. Full time maybe for one last assault. Scienza. Curricula has kept going. Rizzatelli was forward as well. There's Bergkamp. Keeping an eye on Pele. Up by Seno, right into the path of Bergkamp. This could finish it now. Bergkamp strikes. Bergkamp scores. 2-0 to Inter. A goal there from a master finisher.
Quite right too, Peter. What a master finisher. He's not been on the field a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. That really was a clinical finish. Not often you see Bergkamp play a beautiful little pass like that. It was a lovely little chip pass forward from Bergkamp. Onto Seno. Seno, a lovely timed pass. And there is a master finisher, Bergkamp. That's the problem, always the problem. When you're pushing for that equaliser, they're a young side, they push forward, lots of gaps appear at the back, and when you've got players of the class of Bergkamp, there you see, picked his spot in at the near post.
Maki's long ball, too long though for Senegalia. It'll be a difficult season, I think, for Torino. So many changes in their side. It's going to take a while for them to gel together. And on the evidence of this display today, well, they certainly need Sintesi up front. Let's hope his injury isn't too serious.
Yeah, you're quite right, Peter. It is going to take a long time for these guys to gel together. But the thing they do have in their favour is they're prepared to have a go. And if you're prepared to have a go, once you do get that gelling of the side, you've got half a chance.
Inter have started the season with a victory. Dennis Bergkamp with the second goal towards the end. He only got 8 in Serie A last season in more than 30 games. But he started a new season with a goal to add to the one from Sosa. 3 minutes from the end of the first half.
So an opening day victory for